What's up, my wizards? It's Dev from SBMTG with another top 10 list for you today. This one a fun one. This is the top 10 celebrities who play Magic the Gathering because, as it turns out, there are a few. Let's go ahead and jump in with number 10 here, and you can't do a video like this without mentioning the Spell Slingers podcast. This is a podcast in which lots of celebrities from all different walks of life come in to play Magic with the people putting on the podcast. And there are quite a few people that have been on this show. Grant Imahara of Mythbusters fame, he's a generally cool guy. Also, generally cool lady Felicia Day from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Eureka, as well as the web series The Guild. Also, NFL punter Chris Cluey, who is by all the numbers the best punter in Minnesota Vikings history and an outspoken gay rights activist, two things that totally go together all the time. And there's also UFC fighter Josh Barnett, who will punch your face, and Firefly's Alan Tudyk, who has the most impossible name in the world to pronounce if you've only ever seen it in print. Altogether, Spellslingers has had some pretty cool guests, and I fully suggest that you give them a try. Number 9, or at least my number 9, is Edmund McMillen, who some of you who are awesome may have heard of, but the vast majority of you have never heard of in your lives ever. So allow me to tell you how awesome Edmund McMillen is. He is the creator of the wonderfully, fantastically great Binding of Isaac series of games, and also the co-creator of the equally amazing Super Meat Boy. And he's one of the subjects of the 2012 documentary Indie Game, which is mostly a film about Phil Fish, the creator of Fez, being Phil Fish, and if you don't know what that means, then count yourself lucky. But there's also a touching story in there about Edmund and his fiancée, him asking her to marry him, and him and his partner Tommy being up against a deadline really, really hard to finish Super Meat Boy for the Xbox. Compelling documentary. But there's some really good evidence that Edmund plays Magic. For instance, in the Binding of Isaac, there's a weapon of many, many weapons called the Chaos card, which is basically the Magic card Chaos Orb. You throw it, whatever it touches dies. And if that weren't enough evidence, the most damning evidence is that he was commissioned to design a Magic card for M15, along with a few other celebrity designers, including Marcus Notch Pearson, the creator of Minecraft, and George Fan, the creator of Plants vs. Zombies. And yes, Notch's card is called Aggressive Mining, ha ha ha. Edmund McMillen created Cruel Sadist, which totally saw all the play ever, but in any case, he's just a really cool guy. I like his story a lot, I love his games, and I think that he deserves a spot on this list just for being a cool person. Speaking of just being a generally good person and really nice, and so I want you on the list, my number 8 is Hank Green, one half of the Vlogbrothers and host of SciShow here on YouTube. Hank wrote a song back in 2007 about playing Magic in high school. There's a link in the description. He's a self-described Magic nerd. There's a whole video about, different nerds in high school, the chess nerd, the comic book nerd. He describes himself as the Magic nerd and sings a song about Shivan Dragons. So check that out in the link in the description because Hank Green is a genuinely good person. Number 7 is where we ratchet up a celebrity a little bit. Number 7 is Nathan Fillion, another star of Firefly and Nathan Drake lookalike, almost certainly the inspiration for that character, same name and everything. He's also the main character in the TV drama Castle, which apparently a couple of people watch in the world. A couple of years ago, he tweeted that he was learning how to play Magic the Gathering, which a bunch of people, for whatever reason, because the internet, took as a tacit admission that he was going to play Venser in the upcoming Magic the Gathering movie, which will come out anywhere between 3 and 25 years from now if it ever happens. I don't know why that rumor got started, but all I know is that he tweeted that he was playing Magic the Gathering, and it's not often that someone this rich, handsome, and well-known is playing Magic the Gathering, but we'll see a couple more of them before the list is over. Number 6 is Brandon Routh, another name that I'm almost certainly butchering. He's most famous for playing Superman in Superman Returns. Remember, like 20 seconds ago when I said that Nathan Fillion tweeted a couple years ago that he was learning how to play Magic? Well, Routh was one of the first people that responded to that tweet, welcoming him to the Magic community. Pretty cool, and the most important thing to remember about this, just take this away from this exchange, is that Superman plays Magic. My number 5 is Patton Oswalt, the voice of Ratatouille and a genuinely funny comedian, a relative rarity nowadays. I'm just going to leave this picture of Jeff Dunham here for no reason at all. Oswalt regularly tweets about MTG, or at least somewhat regularly, and even incorporated Magic into his stand-up act by comparing it to the 2008 election. When speaking on Senator and Republican presidential nominee John McCain's choice of Sarah Palin for VP, Oswalt said in his stand-up act that in Magic the Gathering terms, McCain is trying to attack an ice wyvern with a hedge dwarf. Okay, so neither one of those are magic cards, and you can't attack a creature with a creature, but you can definitely tell through most of his tweets and some of his talk about Magic the Gathering that he's at least got a card shop passing knowledge of it and has probably played it a few times, and I really like Patton Oswalt. Number 4 is Will Wheaton from Star Trek and Stand By Me. Stand By Me? Hold on, that's IMDb. Stand By Me, there he was in that. But he's Wesley Crusher from Star Trek The Next Generation, and he's also a well-known MTG player and generally well-liked person who actually hosted the Battle for Zendikar event at a recent PAX. So he's kind of well-known for playing Magic the Gathering, and he's also Will Wheaton, and many people like his face. Also, many people don't like his face because a lot of people are, for whatever reason, annoyed by Wesley Crusher, one of the best Star Trek story arcs of all time. But that's discussion for another day. I like Will Wheaton, as many people do. We're in the top 3 now, and my number 3 is Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the co-star of Inception, and I'm told lots of other movies as well, tweeted a couple of years ago that he was a blue mage, to which community darling and handsome devil Brian David Marshall responded, indicating that they had played Magic together at some point in the past. The community kind of blew up over this, and kind of also thought, another rumor here about the Magic movie, that he would be playing Jace in an upcoming Magic movie. But all of this, again, pure speculation. It's just really cool that JGL and BDM know each other and apparently, play Magic and things. My number 2 is Jason Alexander and possibly Jerry Seinfeld. InQuest magazine about 15 years ago famously reported that Alexander straight up was a Magic player. But, InQuest magazine is always right about everything ever, right? If you weren't playing Magic a decade ago, then you have no idea how hilarious that statement is. But a lot has been made on the internet about Jerry Seinfeld playing Magic because Magic product can be seen in the show on Jerry's desk. It's entirely possible this was brought to the set by Alexander, but I also like to think that Jerry Seinfeld and Jason Alexander played Magic games during breaks, right? That would be awesome. But in any case, many people speculate online that Seinfeld played, but we're almost sure that Jason Alexander does, and that's cool that Costanza plays Magic. My number 1 is Seth Rogen. During Seth's first SNL appearance in 2007, he incorporated Magic into his monologue, indicating that he used to play Magic in high school and giving ideas for new cards and such. Sounds like a really cool segment, right? Well, all I can find is people referring to it online. I can't find any still frames or transcripts or clips or anything of this monologue, but many people have talked about it. And Seth Rogen he occupies a place in my heart. I love pretty much every movie he's ever done, and not a day goes by in my life where someone doesn't say that I look exactly like Seth Rogen, or that I'm the Seth Rogen of Magic, or whatever. So, Seth, you may have in some roundabout way made me more relevant, so here's to you, buddy. And that's it. That's my list of the top 10 celebrities that play Magic. I'm Dad from SBMTG. Stay tuned for more videos. Like if you enjoyed the content, and sub for more content. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, my wizards.